The Inside Edge Network is brought to you by Fanatics. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans, dedicated to our favorite teams and athletes to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We're talking NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, National Hockey League, the NCAA. I'm a wrestling guy as well. We got WWE apparel available too. It allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. It's right there in the corner of your screen. Get your official gear. Level up with us at fanatics.com.
Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Yes, welcome to the show. Yes, my coffee is brewing. Yes, it is right now. That's what you hear. It's a beautiful sound. It's a beautiful sound to hear at any single point of the day. Glad to have you with us here on Midnight Row. We have a busy show here for you. Myself, my producer Eli Moon, we got you covered for the next hour until 1 a.m. Glad to have you with us. And you ever actually listen to your coffee brewing? You ever actually listen to it? It's like therapy. And then just listen to it finish. Hold up. Here it is. Ah, it's beautiful. Then it resets. Come on. Any day now. There it goes. All right, put up that Cavs score from today. What a game. Cavs won today 122-116. Let me go ahead and grab that. We don't have time to mix it in, so it's going to be straight black coffee. 122-116. Boy, we did get a scare, though, in the fourth quarter. Atlanta went on a 17-2 run, which was – it happened quick. I think it happened in a span of like 3 minutes of game time. But the Cavaliers, who, ironically enough, did not hit any field goals with just over 7 minutes left in the ball game. The rest of their points from like the 7:16 mark to the end of the game was all from free throws. Amazing stuff. But a great performance. Cavs needed that. Evan Mobley, 22 points. We're going to play some sound from Kenny Atkinson in just a moment. Also, Kendrick Perkins had to say. We'll play that in just a little bit. But Evan Mobley needed that. Donovan Mitchell, you see there, 31 points. But I mentioned on Monday night, Cavaliers in the last 3, 4, 5 years of this run, starting with Darius Garland and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and then Donovan Mitchell came along. They have never went into the playoffs hot. Never. That's why I've always been bothered by this whole should we settle in on a certain seed, anything like that. You really can't. The schedule doesn't give you the opportunity to settle in. It just doesn't. You have too many things to prove on the last part of the season. You just do. You have too many things to prove. You have to come through in these big games. Now, you're going to have Atlanta again on Friday. I believe that's a Prime Video exclusive broadcast. But you're going to have Atlanta again on Friday. And, boy, don't look now, by the way. Again, the Eastern Conference standings from 5 to 10, it's just a mess. There's so many probabilities, so many things. I believe we could be in position at the end of all this to face Toronto in the first round. So, a lot of interesting things here with the Cavaliers. But you needed to see toughness. And we'll get into all that coming up a little bit. First, let's hear from Kenny Atkinson, courtesy of the Cavs. Leah Dorothy, thank you very much from Channel 19 for the video. Kenny Atkinson on Evan Mobley's performance tonight. Take a look.
I thought Evan was he played with such great force tonight. When he plays with that type of force, I know it's not perfect, and but rebounding the ball, getting in the paint, getting deep in the paint. Wish he would have made that corner three because it looked good. That was great. Great one more to him. But I thought he was great tonight.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. You needed him. There were some critical defensive moments, particularly in that fourth quarter. And, this team, the success or downfall defensively is going to fall on Evan Mobley and also Jared Allen. This was, and Eli, correct me if I'm wrong, this was the seventh time this year where all four key members of the Cavs played together since James Harden's been on the team. Thank you, Eli. Yeah, crazy. It's April 8th, now April 9th. And that's why it's so important for these guys to get hot. The other thing I liked, I thought James Harden had an outstanding fourth quarter. I thought James Harden was outstanding in the fourth quarter. We know what he can do from a playmaking standpoint. We know what he can do. He has not been asked by this Cavs team since joining this ball club. He has not been asked to be the lead scorer. He's been asked to be the assist man, the playmaker, create plays. But there were a few times, especially when we needed something special in that fourth quarter to put the game away against Atlanta, or at least to get that big lead. And then when Atlanta closed it, James Harden opened it back up. His ability to drive to the basket. And here's the beauty about this matchup. If it is the Hawks in the first round, again, you're going to have to work. They got ball handlers. You're going to have to work. This is the one team where we do have the size advantage in the paint, especially if we have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen healthy in the playoffs. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's something that you absolutely need heading into the playoffs. So an outstanding win. Now, there are two major questions, national questions, heading into the playoffs. And we'll address each of them one by one. This was a nationally televised game on ESPN. And I have issues with Kendrick Perkins, but, hey, Kendrick Perkins is kind of – he's going to get credit for being a producer of this show alongside Eli Moon because he kind of came up with some topics for me. Number one, let's stick with Evan Mobley for a couple seconds. I believe we do have it's labeled in our system, creamy in the middle. Roll it, courtesy of ESPN, roll it.
I don't know if that's going to end up being.
But wasn't that guy supposed to be Evan Mobley? And I don't know, but the whispers around the NBA is that the Cleveland Cavaliers are soft, that they're sponsored by Hostess Cupcakes because they creamy in the middle. And I'm looking at Evan Mobley. Yes, Donovan Mitchell is the best. Donovan Mitchell is the best player, but Evan Mobley is the most important player.
courtesy of ESPN. I got to address one thing before I get into my analysis. I log in the StreamYard, get ready for the show. And Eli and Chad, they were still on after prime time. And the first thing I see is a package of Hostess. It's the first thing I see. There it is. There it is. Hostess cupcakes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Those things are so effing nasty. Those things are awful. Why do you need that much cream in the middle? But why do you need? What makes a pastry with that much cream in the middle good? I don't understand. My bad, Robert. I'm sorry. Hey, Tyrese Halliburton, he did get good news today. He participated in his very first 5-on-5 since the injury, full speed. So he's on his way back. So you do got good news there. And we do not blame the Pacers. We do not accuse the Pacers of tanking like a lot of the other bad teams this year. And I will also mention about the Pacers. This is why we need the Cavaliers to do well this year, because when Tyrese Halliburton is back next year, you guys are going to be a problem. So I enjoy this year off because, yeah, I think you guys are going to be coming back with a vengeance. All right. I will also mention, too, that if Hostess is open to being a sponsor on our network, and if they're ever a sponsor, I will revisit those comments and we'll have some fun. There it is, Hostess Cupcakes. That's what Kendrick Perkins called Evan Mobley, and what he is perceived to be around the NBA. And the Cavaliers cannot reverse that curse nationally until they beat Boston or New York in a series. And I mentioned those two teams in particular because even if they beat Detroit in a best of 7, they still won't get the respect credit that they would deserve. If they go to the conference finals, nobody's picking the Cavaliers to beat the Celtics. Nobody's picking them to beat the Celtics. But Evan Mobley is somebody, and Jared Allen is somebody who could change that. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how that goes. But I love what I saw from Mobley tonight. But he's gonna have to be ready to go against bigger competition. Now, the second one I want to actually get into is Donovan Mitchell. Kendrick Perkins also mentioned that Donovan Mitchell has the most pressure in the NBA. That part's not really a hot take. I mean, neither are hot takes, but Donovan Mitchell, I was just thinking about this throughout the night. Donovan Mitchell is everything that LeBron is not. He is actually, in my eyes, anti-LeBron. Donovan Mitchell seems humbled. Again, public perception. I don't know them personally, but public perception, he seems humble. He goes about his business. He is not seeking credit. He is not going out and saying, I deserve to be considered, one of the very best, he is a guy you could put in front of the camera and Clevelanders could be proud of. And quite honestly, as a league, the NBA could be proud of. I distinctly remember when the NBA returned to NBC, the one guy that they kept showing in their commercials, like the guy that they were showing and featuring, was Donovan Mitchell. The entire return of the NBA on NBC campaign was centered around Donovan Mitchell. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And what he's been able to do here in Cleveland since his arrival in 2022 has been nothing but amazing. He has been an absolute ambassador of Cleveland sports. I mean, he's right up there with Jose Ramirez, is one of the leaders, one of the faces of Cleveland sports. But he also receives grace, even though he has not moved past the second round of the NBA playoffs in his career. That's why the temperature is going to be ramped up these playoffs. And that pressure is going to be there for Donovan Mitchell to deliver. The problem in years past, while he's talented enough and he has the mental savvy and he's put together good playoff performances, his body sometimes doesn't hold up. And that's going to be the question. That's also the question of James Harden as well. The difference here and the reason why there could be good potential with this, Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to do all the scoring, do all the stuff on his own. Just like James Harden doesn't have to do the same thing. The whole point is this. Playoffs start next Saturday? Next Saturday. And us here as a network, we'll have a Cavaliers preview show. At some point next week, we'll do a Cavs NBA playoff preview show here on the network. But you got to do it. Everybody's confident in Boston. Boston's been there. They've done it. I would say the Knicks, but that's kind of self-inflicting. That's if you believe what Stephen A. Smith says is gospel. And it ain't. It ain't. If a vacuum cleaner called out Stephen A. Smith, he would have a 20-minute monologue going against vacuum cleaners. He would be anti-vacuum. That's like, dude, you don't have to respond to everybody. Okay? You just don't. Leave Jason Whitlock alone. Leave vacuum cleaners alone, Stephen A. But other than those two teams, Detroit, they just got to the dance. The Cavaliers, they're that fourth seed that nobody's picking. They're supposed to be championship contenders. And thus why you make the trade with Darius Garland to James Harden if you are unable to put it all together in the postseason. So we'll kind of see. We're kind of, like I said before, we're in, Eli, if you can, come on the screen for a hot second. We're kind of in that weird stage here with the Cavaliers where these two Atlanta games are important, but it's we can't give you new news on the Cavs until the playoffs start next week. But these games, and I'll even lump in that stupid Wizards game on Sunday, these are important games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure about the Wizards, but I know for sure this Atlanta game tonight and the Atlanta game coming up are pretty important in AA because it's a playoff team that they could see in the first round specifically. You know, if they do hang on to that fifth seed, Atlanta stays there, you know, the Cavs are going to play them in a 7-game series. And Atlanta's been playing very well since they got Jonathan Kuminga after the trade deadline. They've been playing pretty good ball. So I think that is important. You know, I'd like to at least see them play competitive. Who knows who plays in that Washington game on Fan Appreciation Day? You know, who knows who even plays in that game? If they do send out the roster, the starting five, then yeah, they got to look good. But we'll see. But this Atlanta one coming up, I mean, this is pretty important. And then, it's gonna show, going into a series against Atlanta, how can they look? Chad brought it up, about the size differential. You've talked about it here, the size differential with Atlanta and Cleveland, and I think that's something to keep an eye on. But, if you're the Cavs, you just got to really just lock in. There isn't time to, play let's position ourselves for the third seed or this seed or whatever. Just go in there and win basketball games because I said it on primetime. If you play around and try to, we don't want to play Boston or New York, you might end up playing Charlotte and mess around and match up against Charlotte earlier on if they were to win a first-round matchup or something like that. I think Charlotte's a team you don't want to play. I think Toronto's somebody you wouldn't want to play. So it's you can look at it both ways if you're the Cavs. There's going to be a tough matchup no matter who you play. That's why it's the playoffs.
Yeah, let me briefly explain why I threw in the Wizards. I know they suck. I know they're hot garbage.
Yeah.
But the reason why I threw that, and more than likely, you might be right, where they might just sit. Or what you could do, you put out the starting five, you go out there for a few minutes, kind of, hey, fan of appreciation, and you sit if you can get a lead.
Yeah.
But which would be ideal. But I say it's important because I think, again, that's part of the process of going into the playoffs hot. I think you got to beat them up.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's got to look good, for sure. I mean, if they were to lose like a close loss, I guess, depending who plays, I would be okay with it. But you got to have Merrill look good, Strus look good. These guys that really are going to be counting on to hit some important 3-point baskets come, a week or two from now, where Sam Merrill is going to be counted on. Max Strus is going to be counted on. Thomas Bryant down low, is going to be counted on that 3-man big, rotation, with Mobley and Allen. So this is important, AA. I agree. They got to get some momentum, even if it is just statistically, shooting the ball well or, playing better defense. I mean, can we hold the team under 110 points? Who knows? But I'd like to see that, if it is against Washington, at least getting defensively sound right before the playoffs and tuning up there. We'll take it whatever we can get. But one thing's for certain, they got to play better defense. I mean, 116 points tonight. I mean, that's against Atlanta. That's not even looking at teams that can really score the ball pretty well. And Cade Cunningham's back for Detroit. So everybody thought, well, maybe Detroit's going to be susceptible in the playoffs. They're back at full strength. So, there isn't any weak points in this Eastern Conference. The only weak point is who you brought up earlier is the Pacers, who aren't in the postseason because they're missing Tyrese Halliburton. But everybody else that we didn't think would be there, Jason Tatum and this Boston team, well, they're here. Detroit, who we didn't think would pop up to be the 1 seed, here they are with Cade Cunningham. So there is no more running from it.
I briefly pulled up the final team stats. I remember in the first half, Atlanta had a lead going into halftime. They were 9 of 18 from 3-point land in the first half. They ended up finishing 12 of 34. So the downtown shooting didn't go well for the rest of the game. The 3-point defense, the perimeter defense, and I think this is where, again, Eli, having Jared Allen and having Mobley both available is huge so that the perimeter guards could do their thing defensively. That's been the issue for the Cavs for years in the playoffs, is that dink and dunk from the paint to the outside. You don't want, if you're a Cavs fan, you don't want our guys chasing outside against the other teams for three. That's how they've been successful these last few years, Eli.
Yeah, and James Harden has never been the most sound defensive player, so you don't want him having to be overexerted on the defensive side of the ball so that he's not playing as strong offensively. And you're right, Double. Jared Allen's health is going to be important here too. They're saying he's not going to be 100% the rest of the season until he takes care of whatever he needs to take care of this offseason. But you would hope that he's at least healthy enough to make some sort of presence felt offensively, and then defensively helping out Evan Mobley contain the paint, because that is something that, yes, you're right. Thomas Bryant, who's now with us, bullying us last year in Indiana with Miles Turner, and those guys, Pascal Siakam in Indiana, and years past Mitchell Robinson. I mean, it's been pretty rough as a Cavs fan watching the team get embarrassed in the paint. So hopefully that ends. That's a trend that's over with.
Speaking of rough, if you're a gambling fan here in Ohio, you got some rough days ahead of you after the news that was just dropped today. We're going to talk about that coming up. I do want to briefly mention the Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians. They won today. They play while you were working these last couple of days. But this is what they have done. They lead the American League in number of wins, 8 wins. They split the series with Seattle. They've won against the Dodgers, won a series against the Cubs, won a series against the Kansas City Royals. They're the only team in the AL Central at this moment, again, very early, at this moment with a winning record. The Dodgers, other than the 2 losses they've had to the Guardians, have not lost a game. That's your Cleveland Guardians in 2026 through April 8th. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. I cannot say enough about how I love these candles. I can't say enough and how much my apartment has been smelling fresh since I've had Alley Rose fragrances. Okay, fine, I shower too. But AlleyRoseFragrances.com, they have you covered. It is spring. I think we have just surpassed our final below freezing temperature day here in Cleveland. Thank goodness. But who knows? It might be a blizzard in May. But regardless, the spring collection candles, they are there. They are there with AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Get the lemon bar, get the soft balloon, spring candles. Got to check it out. Also, if you have a loved one, right, significant other, mom, sister, anything like that, grow up with the body mist that you can get as well. Hook up, shower, all that stuff. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. The promo code for first-time customers is Inside Edge 20. Inside Edge 20 for first-time customers. And again, you can stack up, load up that cart, and apply that promo code. It's 20% off that entire order. You'll love it. You're going to love it. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. We have the Ohio Republic, a group of Ohio Republicans. They are putting a kibosh. They are attempting to put a kibosh on a lot of online gambling. We're going to talk about that next. Also later on, we got like a little mock draft that we're featuring, or not featuring, but FanDuel put out something. So this is kind of a what if that we'll feature when we come back. What if instead of Baker Mayfield, you had Josh Allen here in Cleveland? What if instead of Denzel Ward and Nick Chubb, you had Saquon Barkley? It could have happened in 2018 if the draft would have went a certain way. Also, we recorded the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast. I'll play a teaser for you when we come back from break about what you could expect from that show Friday morning. We got a loaded second half of the show coming up after the break.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm sorry, sports talk back. I almost gave away a sports call number. I was almost like 216. Oh man, radio. Good stuff. All right, welcome back to the show. We got some big news that we're going to talk about here in a few moments. Last night we did not have Midnight Run because myself and my Side Hustle Wrestling podcast co-host Kyle Cornell, we had to tape the upcoming edition of the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast. It's our professional wrestling show that we have here on the Inside Edge Network. And, Kyle's kind of good at tennis, so he's actually driving to Arizona right now as we speak to participate in a professional tennis tournament, WTA, ATA, whatever it is. But he's heading out to Arizona, so we had a tape last night. And if you're a wrestling fan or have watched 2 seconds of ESPN, you are aware that Pat McAfee has been recently a part of programming, kicking Cody Rhodes in the nuts. In fact, half of pro wrestling has kicked Cody Rhodes in the nuts in the last 3 or 4 years. But the words that I uttered here, I think this is what this is all leading to. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. You'll see the full episode Friday morning on the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast. But here's a preview. Take a look.
He's back. Vince McMahon is back. Vince McMahon, I'll look dead in the camera. Vince McMahon is back.
We may have to change the format of the show if this happens. You want to talk about sports or something? I know you already have multiple shows where you talk about sports on the podcast.
No. But the seriousness of this, who's, because remember, with TKO initially, Vince was on the board, obviously, and then things happen legally. So it's not like, all right, TKO took over and immediately removed Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon really was only removed because of the legal stuff that was going on. It's not like he was kicked out. It's not like they didn't embrace what he was doing.
Yeah. I don't like to utter those words, but and you'll hear my full explanation like Friday morning here on the Inside Edge Network. But yeah, I think right now the way that the storylines are kind of, because right now, again, we address a lot of the insider stuff, the inside baseball stuff on that show. But sometimes it's tricky when that stuff is presented on television. And there have been, in my opinion, too many references of him for him not to be involved. Whether it's an on-screen character or worse. So we'll talk about it. You'll hear it Friday morning here on the Inside Edge Network. And of course, as you get ready for the weekend, you get ready for the playoffs, you get ready for the Masters. The Masters, a tradition unlike any other. This upcoming weekend or next weekend, the NBA playoffs and WrestleMania, or the weekend after that, the NFL draft, where you can see the Cleveland Browns shatter their hopes and dreams on a left tackle. I'm kidding. They need a left tackle. They'll draft a right tackle and try to convert him to a left tackle, and that'll go well. But B.A. Sweeties, that's where you need to be. B.A. Sweeties, over 75 years of local business. They do a phenomenal job with candy. They do a phenomenal job. And again, they're a manufacturer here, so you can get your traditional candies and stuff at B.A. Sweeties. Kit Kats, Reese's peanut butter, Trix, all that stuff. You get all that. But you can also get specialized candy, and that's where they're at their best. B.A. Sweeties, they have everything you need. Their popcorn is amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I'm going to get their popcorn again. Had the cheddar cheese popcorn. I went up there to try to get the Buffalo Ranch popcorn, Kyle's favorite, and they didn't have any. So I think the person in front of me grabbed the last one. So I'm going to go back and try to get those. But they have a ton of stuff there, too. If you're a sour candy person, they got sour sprays. They got a ton of great things. The toxic waste candies, there are so many different things that they have at B.A. Sweeties. And that's just the candy side. They also have ice cream. They have milkshakes. They have, oh, man, it's so good. And then come May, the Putt-Putt is going to reopen. So a lot of great stuff at B.A. Sweeties. Again, head over to B.A. Sweeties. It's on Interstate 480, Ridge Road exit, make a left on Brook Park Road. It is in Cleveland, Ohio. The Giant Lollipop, that's where it's located. And if you go there, grab your stuff, Mention the word lollipop. If your order is worth $40 or more, mention the word lollipop. You'll get $5 off of your orders. Pretty sweet deal. I believe over 12% off of your order if you put that in. So a lot of good stuff. Again, check out BA Sweeties. And remember, the lollipop promotion is a in-store promotion only. In-store that you have to mention at checkout. Okay. So this gambling story, then back here with you, Anthony Alford here with you. This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network, here with you until 1 a.m. in the East, 10 p.m. Pacific. Hopefully, if you're on the West Coast, you listen to Eli Moon when he tells you during Inside Edge Prime Time to grab dinner during the commercial break. Because if you don't, it's 9:36 out there. You're eating this late. I mean, hell, I can't talk. I air fried chicken at 1 a.m. here last week, so I can't even talk. Anywho, this story has been rocking everyone. So let me give you the details. So we're talking here. This dropped courtesy of News 5. Ohio Republican lawmakers are introducing 2 different bills to overhaul the sports gaming/gambling system. So here's what they're looking into. Now remember, here in Ohio, sports gambling is legal. In fact, it was legalized, I want to say in 2022, it was legalized here. So, you don't have to travel anywhere, but this is the report. A group of Ohio Republican lawmakers want to do this. They want to eliminate online bets. They want to put a ban on in-game prop and parlay bets. They want to limit wagers to $100. No gambling ads during games. No using credit cards to bet. So that's the report. Again, group of Ohio Republican lawmakers. And if this were to pass, for all intents and purposes, legalized gambling here in Ohio would be dead. I mean, if this were to pass, I know technically it would still be legal, but it's, I'll put it to you this way for those of you outside of Ohio, the marijuana laws here have drastically changed to where technically it's legal, but you can't really do anything. I'm not going to give you the skinny on that, but if you know, you know. This is kind of the same deal here in Ohio. I distinctly remember, and I'm going to bring Eli here in 2 seconds, but I distinctly remember when I was getting into gambling, I would drive to PA to place my sports bets. I remember when I worked at WTAM and I had a part-time job at T-Mobile out in Menor. And after my shifts, I would make the hour drive up Interstate 90 to PA. There's a rest stop in PA. As soon as you cross the state border, the state line, I would pull over to the rest stop and place my bets and then drive back home. And I did that for a little bit. In fact, this is actually interesting timing considering that the Masters is coming up this weekend. This is actually very interesting timing. So for an event like the Masters, I would make the drive to PA, either to Erie, PA, or I would drive out to the Youngstown area, cross the border, go to Sharon, PA, park, all right, place my bets. My ex and I, we would go. And we went there, go to the park, maybe we'll grab a bite to eat, get some ice cream or something like that. But I'm there placing my bets. And to say here, and I'm going to bring Eli in. Actually, Eli, come on in right now, because I've kind of tapered off a little bit on gambling myself personally. I don't hate it. But, they're trying to push here all the addiction and stuff like that. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real about this. All of this is complete BS.
Yeah.
This is political grandstanding, and to try to say, oh, it's for addiction, where really these lawmakers basically want more of the pie, or else nobody gets in on the fun. This is garbage is about, Eli.
Yeah, it's bad, AA. I mean, it's like, on one side, I don't think we should be having FanDuel broadcasting games and advertising the odds and all that.
You'll get your wish after Sunday.
Yeah, I sure will. I sure hope they figure out where they're going to put the Cavs at, but that's a different discussion. But I think on this side, it's like, man, come on, man. If I want to put my $5 bet in on a crazy parlay that can win us, a ton of, of money and whatever, I should be able to do that, man. And instead I can't now because they're trying, or at least it's seeming like they're gonna try to make it where I can't. And you know what, I think people should have restraint. I think there are gamblers out there that don't necessarily have restraint, and that's the problem. But I don't think it's up to the lawmakers to make some decision on whether I should be able to put a 50-cent parlay in that's going to send it to the moon. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. I'm with you, AA. I'm mad about it.
And here's the other thing, and I want you to stay on the screen here for this segment. Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
If you lose, like if you're that addicted, what the hell are the lawmakers going to do to solve that problem?
Yeah, right. Are they going to get your money back? Are they going to give you your money back?
Yeah.
Hey,
They're not giving you your money back. Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry you bet your entire home and you lost your home. Here you go. Here's it back. No, they're gonna do that. No.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's.
Go ahead, Eli.
It's bad, AA. I was gonna say it's just bad. It's I mean, just have some restraint, I guess. If you're you're gambling out there and you're not winning. I mean, I've had it where it's like, all right, these dollar bets aren't hidden, so I'm gonna stop for a minute. But it's also about having fun, and it's like, man, what can we do? What's next? I mean, they're going to take gambling from us. You already talked about it. We're not going to get into it on this show about the marijuana laws, but they get into everything on that is deemed fun or can make money in a different way that the state is trying to get their hands into, or the government in one way or another. And it's frustrating. It's just frustrating. Let me put my dollar bets in peace.
Yeah, and I don't care at this point. It's 12:43 at night. If you're aware of what's going on with the marijuana laws, then yeah, you're kind of pissed at what's going on too.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention in this report again from News 5, no more betting on college athletics as well.
They don't even let us do in Ohio. They don't even let us bet on the player points, like for college athletics, like to score 20 points or more, or 15 points or more. They don't even let you do that. They only let you bet on the games and the spreads. So like. That would be the next thing, but it's like, what is the end game? Just to take away anything fun? Like, dude.
Well, again, the key is they are not they want more of a piece of the pie. Like anything that happens in government, it's because they want more of the pie, and they're not getting it. So the threat is to eliminate all of it. I think the big one, I mean, they're all big, but the no using credit cards to bet.
Yeah.
How many people walk around with cash?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to go to the Jack Casino and like put your bet in there, back, like get your slip and like watch. I mean, like other than that, I don't understand. I don't get it. They are making it impossible. And like you said, it's to get a bigger piece of the pie, but I think people are just going to be like, whatever, and just not care. I mean, like, okay, you're going to shut it down, but with this mixed with everything else going on, it's like, man, it is just a lot going on here in the state of Ohio. It is like they are just trying to take away any avenue for anybody to make a little bit of extra bread. I mean, we already got to fill a 1099 out on if we win some money on it. So it's like, come on, dude.
And here's the other thing. I think you brought up just a great point just a second ago. They want you to go to Jack Casino. And again, I don't know if there's any insider information, backdoor channels in terms of, partnership deals with different casinos. But taking away and not being able to use credit cards to bet would essentially, that would eliminate online betting. 100% would eliminate online betting. You would have to go to a casino. You would have to grab cash. Usually when you grab cash at a casino, it's not like PNC is in there. So when you're grabbing cash, that's a service fee to grab cash. So it's not like you're just putting in $100 for cash and you're getting $100. You're getting charged.
Yeah, nobody just ever walks into the casino and just walks out. If you pull cash out, you're pulling out enough to go play a game of blackjack, at least one game of blackjack, and see how your odds go from there. And you're going to get some food. They got some good burgers upstairs in the Jack. I know because I've had them. They got some good food. So they got us. They got us exactly where they want us, bro. That's what they're trying to do.
The in-game betting, I think that's interesting. First, limiting wagers to $100. That's them not getting any piece of the pie. That's, again, political grandstanding.
You're gonna have to parlay it then to win some bread. You're gonna have to parlay it. Straights would be done. That would impact the way people bet too. Because I'm just telling you from experience.
No, go ahead.
Somebody that bets $5, I'm usually putting an 8 to 9 leg parlay, and I know that sounds silly and people are laughing. And it's maybe I don't hit, but for every time I do hit, I'll make sure I post it. I'll find my slip I hit from a few weeks ago for a couple hundred. But you put 5-6 leg parlays and you try to juice it up. So it's if they're limiting how much you can bet, it's it kind of limits how you're gonna bet. I don't know. It's keep going, AA.
Ban on in-game prop and parlay bets.
Yeah, what? Come on, man. I can't bet on somebody to score a touchdown in the third quarter. That's ridiculous, dude. That is ridiculous.
And that's why I hate to go in on the NBA. I love the NBA, and I can't wait for the NBA playoffs. That's why this tanking stuff is a problem, because all of a sudden the in-game betting, that looks suspicious.
Yeah.
It does. It just does. Oh, God, man. What team was it that was leading and was fouling yesterday? Forgot who it was. I apologize.
It was against Golden State.
Yeah. And they're leading and they're fouling. Just
the Kings.
Sacramento. Thank you. Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's why, I laid out a proposal on this show last week about, 72 game regular season, cut off the bad teams that are not in playoff or play-in contention, and then move on. But yeah, we're going to see how this plays. We're out of time here. We're going to see we got one more segment here. We're going to see how this plays out. This is not good. And I do my best. I know this is a sports show. I do my best to not take shots at lawmakers, because, again, this is not a politically driven show at all. But when you have lawmakers diving into your enjoyment of sports, all of a sudden, that's a problem. And then no more betting on college athletics. What are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? I saw this report earlier today, and it's one of those reports it's not really the biggest deal. And then I really read it, and I read the story. It's oh, this is a problem. All right, let's break. When we come back, our final segment, this is appropriately timed. FanDuel retweeted a mock draft from 2018 in the NFL 2018 draft. You know that draft. That was Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, King of Kings draft. Well, they put out a mock. I'll grab it for you here. We'll show it to you on the other side of the break. What would have happened if Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley was with the Browns instead of Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb? We'll talk about that coming up on the other side of the break. Stay close.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Here with you till 1. Music Mentors, here locally in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio. If you are a marching band fan, you like marching bands, you used to play the trumpet or the saxophone, you were on the drum line, you know the impact marching bands can have. And Mentor High School, they're doing something really, really cool. They are doing the Music Mentor Scholarship program raffle. And the money will go to the Mentor High School marching band seniors. And this is really cool. Again, we have the website there for you. go.rallyup.com/Music Mentors 2026. The link is also in the QR code on your screen as well. And this raffle, a lot of cool prizes that you can win, a ton of cool prizes, like big level prizes that you can check out and win for yourself, for your entire family. It's all there. And this all, again, is to support the Mentor High School, the Fighting Cardinals marching band out there in Mentor High. They're seniors. Their band, by the way, 175 students in the high school band. 175. Think of all the formations you can, if you're the band director, you could put together and stuff on the field. But we know how special, marching band is. Just incredible. And your contributions can help. Again, remember, go to the website, go.rallyup.com/Music Mentors 2026. That's go.rallyup.com/Music Mentors 2026. Yes, if you're outside of Cleveland, it's Mentor, but it's spelled Mentors. But yes, go there and you'll be all set. We also have Medina, Ohio, and Ashtabula, Ohio. I'm kidding. It's Medina and Ashtabula. We have that for you. Okay. Whew. I don't know why that gambling segment kind of got me riled up a little bit. Let me show you a photo from FanDuel. What a transition. All right, so take a look at this. FanDuel the redrafting. Oh my God, my arms are. I'm bulking up, Eli. I'm bulking up. My arms are big. I don't care. We can show. We don't have to change anything. Show the graphic. So there it is. That 2018 NFL draft class. Remember, that was, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon. You see the names. There was also Josh Rosen in there too, in that draft class. So remember, we had the number 1 and number 4 picks. And there you see it there. If you redraft the 2018 draft, the Browns would have had Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley at 1 and 4 instead of Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward, not in the top 10 of this redrafting. Also, look at Nick Chubb. He would have been with Arizona. Lamar Jackson with the Giants. Fred Warner with the Jets. Sam Darnold with the Denver Broncos. He would have been the successor at that point to Peyton Manning, like a year removed or something. Baker Mayfield would have been with the Indianapolis Colts. That would have been interesting. And then you see a few other top-level players from the 2018 draft. Let me first start with Josh Allen. We can take the graphic down. Let me start with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, now remember, this is 2018. Year 1 would have been with Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley, because the Haslam's didn't move on from Hugh Jackson after 1 and 31. So would Josh Allen have been able to overcome Hugh Jackson, overcome Freddie Kitchens, and before you get to Kevin Stefanski in 2020, 3 coaching changes? I don't know. The physical tools are there with Josh Allen. Big body, somebody who can survive the AFC North. I would have more confidence in Josh Allen surviving the AFC North than Baker Mayfield. But Josh Allen, the first initial years, he was not the dynamic playmaker that Baker Mayfield was. If you just put Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen on the street coming out of college, I would trust Baker Mayfield a little bit more to create plays and be able to survive bad coaching more so than Josh Allen. So I think that would have been a difference. But you would have had an issue with, could Josh Allen survive Cleveland? And you have the patience there. Josh Allen needed good coaching. Again, this is not to say he's a bad player. He's a great player. He needs good coaching. And Baker could survive bad coaching early on. Josh Allen, I'm not confident about that. Saquon Barkley for Nick Chubb, that's kind of a wash. But Barkley would have broke records. Just like Nick Chubb would have broke records. Again, early on, we would have had prime Saquon Barkley, before he fell off a cliff. But kind of the same deal. The difference, though, Denzel Ward would have not been here. So who else other than Myles Garrett would have been able to make critical defensive stops? That would have been the question. So that makes it a bit tough if you go from there. But it's very fascinating. Looking at that loaded draft class there. That would have been huge. The big question out of that, would Denzel Ward have cracked the top 10, the top 5? Who knows? Finally, the workout of the week. Make sure you take care of your abs. I might be the wrong person to say that. But 6 inches, that's what you want to do. And I'm telling you, it's tough. But, keep those legs up. Don't go wild, but just keep those legs up. Do a quick 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Get to 5. Call it a day. Do a few reps. Remember, as I've said multiple times, good form is more important than high weights. If you think, oh, I got to put on weights and things will be good, but you have terrible technique, you're going to get injured. You don't want to do that. You rather get good reps, good technique, and you'll be set and ready to go. Speaking of which, we're done. It's been a great week, Eli. Great job. Thank you all for tuning in. This is weird because, again, we're not taping Side Hustle. That's in the books. So I'm packing it in until the main event on Sunday. So for our entire crew, for our entire team who's worked very hard in the Inside Edge Network, thank you again for joining us. Real quick, here's the schedule of all of our shows. Voice of the Land with Kevin Arnold, Ryan Mosser, debuts here on the Inside Edge Network tomorrow. And then the Commissioner's Couch, Inside Edge Prime Time. That's what you can see tomorrow night right here on the Inside Edge Network. I'm signing off. Have a great night. Go to bed. And go to bed. What are you doing? It's 101. Go to sleep. Bye-bye.